We begin tonight with an amazing bunch of big-hearted Australians who leave the comfort of their homes to bring hope and healing to some of the poorest people on Earth. They're volunteers who work on the world's largest civilian hospital ship, which docks at ports along the West African coast, offering surgery and healthcare, changing and saving countless lives. James Thomas with a story that will make you proud.
Go!
The only difference between me and the patients is the fact that I was born in Australia and the fact that I have access to immediate medical care if I need it.
Getting free medical care to those who most need it is what the Mercy ship does. The incredible floating hospital has dropped anchor at a port in the African nation of Congo. On board, a multinational team of volunteers, many from Australia.
There's probably nowhere here that could treat it.
Doctors, nurses, all making a big difference in thousands of lives. Treating astonishing disorders with amazing, almost unbelievable results. It is a ship of hope and joy.
Good job. Yeah, I'll have one. That'll be great.
Me too.
14,000 kilometres away, paediatric nurse Renee Fry is about to leave her family in Bundaberg for her third tour of duty on the Mercy ship.
Definitely excitement, mixed with sadness from leaving family and friends, but it's definitely excitement.
It is.
Also taking the plunge and heading to Africa is Dr. Alan John Collins, known as AJ.
It's actually all right. It's okay. I thought it was going to be really cold, but it's okay.
He lives in the small town of Tathra on the south coast of New South Wales.
When are you heading out there, AJ?
2 weeks. For 3 weeks.
AJ will leave his mates, his wife and daughter, and his day job as a thoracic surgeon at Bega Hospital to return to the Congo.
Why do you do it?
I feel like I've grown up in one of the most ultra-privileged environments on the planet, really, and I feel like it's a small thing to give something back like this.
The Congo is one of the poorest countries on Earth. By way of example, 1 in 14 children die before the age of 1, largely because they just don't get access to adequate health care. So you can only imagine what it is like when a large ship full of free doctors and free nurses pulls into port. The queue to get on board and be treated is like nothing you've ever seen.
Queues of several thousand people, literally, turning up saying, we're here, we want some of this free treatment you're giving out.
Back home in Australia, these conditions are treated very quickly. That's because they don't have access to good medical care, and the cost of getting that medical care is too expensive for a lot of people.
Many of those arriving suffer from swollen glands. The swelling around the neck is called a goiter. They're relatively rare in Australia, common here because of what they eat.
What I have inside this banana leaf is cassava. It's a simple starch that everybody eats. It's cheap and it fills them up. It's also making the people of the Congo very sick.
Over time, chemicals in cassava cause the thyroid gland to fail, which leads to these large, life-threatening goiters.
The thing that's really frightening about it is it would be close to one of the worst deaths you could have because they die of gradual loss of their airways, so they get slowly asphyxiated over a process of a few months, and eventually they'll suffocate.
One of AJ's first patients is Claire. She's come from a remote village hundreds of kilometres away.
She's had 12 children, of whom there is only 4 surviving, so she's lost 8 out of 12 children.
Claire is in constant pain, unable to work, and rarely leaves her house for fear of being ridiculed.
Bonjour.
AJ is the first doctor she's been to for treatment.
She's got what's, simply a massive multinodular goiter, which is something that's taken a couple of decades to develop for her.
The first step for Claire is to have a CAT scan to find out how far the tumour has spread.
I don't mind telling you that's the sort of case that I lose sleep over. I think about it at night because I know that it's difficult, and if things go a little bit the wrong way, it can get very difficult.
Claire's scan results show the tumour is benign and can be removed. She's next in line for surgery. 3-year-old Kojo is also in need of help. He has extremely bowed legs.
He is a character.
He's definitely a character, 1 in a million. Definitely not shy. He's 3 years old, and he's probably spent most of those 3 years rejected from family and friends.
It's hoped that the Mercy Ship doctors can help straighten his legs. And there are other children in desperate need of similar operations. 3-year-old Celestine travelled by canoe, ferry and train to reach the ship.
She had congenital bowed legs, and so that's a condition that comes from malnutrition, and the legs just bow out. So her legs bowed outwardly, and it was both legs.
Medical negligence is also a big problem in this part of the world. Rivette wasn't born with a terrible leg deformity. Tragically, it was given to her.
She had an injection, a quinine injection that was injected into her nerve instead of her muscle, and that's caused a deformity in her legs where they've bent backwards. And so she found it very difficult to walk and even difficult to sit down.
All 3 children can be helped and head into surgery. Each of their operations is different and difficult. Bones are broken and reset, metal rods and screws inserted. Then, to make sure they heal correctly, their legs are covered in plaster. It takes a lot out of the children who've already been through so much. So, to help them feel better, when they wake up, there's a party. And lots of smiles. The biggest from Rivette.
She inspires me. She is one incredible girl for sure.
To keep the Mercy Ship running around the clock, there are volunteer cleaners, cooks, sailors, teachers, and lots of Aussie accents.
I maintain the sewage system on board, and everyone, whether they're African, European, American, they all contribute to that.
Mick Dunn is an engineer from Sydney. He's not only volunteered himself, but signed up his wife Tamara and his 3 sons, Jack, Mark and Harry.
I'd always wanted to do something where I contributed positively to the world, and I also wanted to model the behaviour and my values to my children.
Hello.
Your turn.
Hey. Hey, Kat.
It's very, very hard to be alone. The room we're in doubles as our lounge room, dining room, kids' rumpus room, and at night it's our bedroom.
Let's go.
Mick and Tamara have left their jobs in the Navy, sold their car and rented out their family home, all without a second thought.
The city supermarché.
No,
La City.
La City, supermarché.
I think what strengthens your marriage and your family values is doing something that's bigger than us. It's not about our house or our holiday. It's something beyond what we do personally, and it's quite exciting to be part of something that really changes people's lives.
We got a couple of hours ahead of us still.
Back on the ship, AJ's carefully removing the life-threatening goiter from Claire's neck.
It all went well, didn't it?
Yeah, it did go well, I think. We're satisfied so far.
Yeah.
I'm always happy when they walk out the door smiling
Yeah.
rather than... but yeah, it went as well as it could.
This was Claire before. The next morning, Claire gets her first look after surgery.
What is that moment like when you hand them a mirror to see themselves without goiter for the first time?
It does give you a little bit of a tingle. Yeah, it's a great pleasure in seeing the thrill it gives them.
What's so funny?
Very funny. She's very funny.
Very happy, is she?
Very happy about that.
And there's more happy faces at the Children's Rehab Centre.
It's really cool to see the differences from when they first come in and you can see them having difficulty walking to then running up to you at the Hope Centre and, you know, running around and playing. It's a complete life-changing difference.
This was Kojo before surgery. And here he is today.
How do you think Kojo feels about his life right now, judging by the way he's behaving?
Kojo could do anything in life now. I think he really feels like he's got that ability to do and be anything that he wants to be.
The transformation is just as amazing for Celestine. Here she is before surgery, and here she is now. And Rivette is also learning to walk on her new straightened legs.
She inspires me because no matter what goes on in her life and what she's had to deal with, she does it with a smile on her face, and I just think we can learn a lot from that.
The Mercy ship isn't equipped to handle patients with Ebola, so after the latest outbreak, it has moved temporarily to Madagascar, where the crew continues to help those in desperate need of surgery.
I love saying goodbye to them when they're ready to walk out the door, and they're immensely grateful. And I think, yeah, that's the payback for me, is just their gratefulness. It's really nice.
I see some of the patients who've, particularly after they've had their surgeries, and some of the little ones, and my heart, you know, leaps a little bit.
We can all see beauty on the surface, but it takes special people to look beyond. People like the crew of the Mercy ship.
If I have the opportunity to be able to help out, then I just don't see why I wouldn't. And I mean, that's why I keep coming back, because I just love what I do.
James Thomas reporting.